Wow. Love yourself first. That is the message for the collective today based off the tarot card reading. So I hope you guys are definitely out there loving yourself first and putting yourself first, because at the end of the day, you cannot love someone else or make anyone else happy until you do that for yourself. All right, so I'm so glad we were able to go ahead and get that message out for the collective. And now we're going to move on to a very important part of our show. We have a very special guest here. He's a critical thinker. He's going to blow your mind with the information that he has. And his name is Young Morpheus. So definitely give it up for Young Morpheus. I'm going to go ahead and allow him to introduce himself to the world. All right, Young Morpheus, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself to the world.
Hey, world, it's your boy Young Morpheus, New York.
New York in the building. Okay, I see you. I see you. All right, so I'm so excited about this because, Young Morpheus, I started probably following him, I would think in 2020, because I came across his videos and I was just like, wow, he putting out some dope information. He gonna make you think and realize, a lot of information that is not on the forefront or is not really, public as far as the media, but he allows you to expand your mind and open up your consciousness and your intuition. So I'm super excited to have you on our show today. So my first question for you, Young Morpheus, is going to be, first, how did you get the name Young Morpheus?
All right, I'm gonna explain my little journey to Young Morpheus or whatever. It all kind of started out as me trolling, and I was trolling not to like garner attention from anybody. It was just more so the fact that I noticed that nobody knew what the fuck was going on with this whole coronavirus shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And being that I kind of was privy to a lot of things, and I'm like, damn, am I the only one that knows this shit? So I'm like, all right, let me start, messing around on IG to just see who's thinking along the same lines as me. You know what I'm saying? Because I kind of got tired of, my surroundings that I'm like, as far as my personal friends, talking to them about the virus and them not being able to understand me or just be able to relate on a level where, you know what I'm saying? Because they're kind of going off what the media is telling them as opposed to thinking for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that started. And then a friend of mine, I stopped doing it. And then a friend of mine reached out to me, and she's a model. And she had questioned me about some of the things that I was posting, and I was just found it really interesting that she happened to be the one that was interested in all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, let me post a couple more things. And, suddenly, like, as time progressed or whatever, the page just started gaining traction. And, more people started heeding to what I was saying, and more people started connecting with the things that I was talking about on the page.
Wow, that's awesome. So how long did it take you to gain your following?
I would say since the beginning of the lockdown till now, well, what happened was in the beginning, it was very slow.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like, okay, I'm just doing this for a few people, but I liked the fact that I was doing it for a few people, and like slowly, I would say towards the middle of like well, not even towards the middle of the lockdown, like a little bit before, like because everybody was home, I feel like it was something to look at. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, yeah.
from there, I feel like that's when I started gaining the traction, and then by I would say about around June or so.
Uh-huh.
my following had went up to about 5,000 or so, and then that's when my page really started kicking off.
Wow. So basically 2020 was the year for you. Was the year that really spiked your following.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty
Wow,
much. I
that's
mean,
amazing.
I've always done other things that, but they weren't along the lines of what I'm doing now as far as the whole woke thing. I've always kind of been involved in like hip hop, and I always have like my own hip hop website and stuff like that. But
Wow.
I kind of just like fell out of that, and my love for that is different now, and I'm not really like so much into the whole music scene as I once was.
So during your journey of being awoke and spreading this information, did you lose a lot of friends or have to cut a lot of people off in this journey?
Yeah, I definitely did, and it was kind of like a win-lose situation. Even though I lost a couple people that didn't understand my perspective, because when black folks start seeing you support Trump and shit, they were like, "Oh man, like what you doing, bruh?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a few of them I was able to get through to and make them understand, like, it's not even really about the politics. I just want y'all to understand who y'all choosing. And I feel like black people didn't really do the time and research with their candidate that they was choosing. I'm not saying that every black person was out there voting for Biden either, but for the vast majority, it seemed like Biden was in support of Black Lives Matter and those things, and that's what kind of had black people riled up at the time.
Right. Exactly. Wow.
So what do you so can you explain to me what the matrix is and why is it important to disconnect from it?
Okay. The Matrix, basically, I feel like the life that we live is somewhat of an illusion. And there's a lot of parallels to that movie that connect to real life. But my personal opinion, well, the Matrix is a system, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And to answer your question, James, I feel like we should disconnect from it because it'll, especially black people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like black people need to, like, just based on our complaints within America alone. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need to come to a realization, like, all right, we feel this type of way about this country. We feel like we've gotten the shorter end of the stick. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but I feel like what black people are failing to realize is that we are continually asking our oppressor for the answers. You know what I'm saying? You can't
Wow.
you can't continually ask your oppressor, yeah, master, can you stop beating me? Yeah, master, can you just stop? You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna fucking work. It's really not. And that's why I feel like black people need to come to a realization, like, are we gonna figure out our own problems, or are we going to continue to let white people solve it for us and want them to solve it for us?
And then if we do allow our oppressor to solve our problems, are they really solving our problems? Like, no, they're not.
We just continually going through this whole ring around, and it's just like it's time for people to just realize that and step away from it. Like, we could have been stepped away from it. It's not like black people don't have the infrastructure right now. It's like, you know what I'm saying? There's a few black people that have money.
Yeah, that's facts.
The problem is like those black people that have the money and shit is like they're connected to this system that we talking about, and they're basically, like I would say they're basically like the Uncle Toms or the fucking Sambo of the groups. You know what I'm saying? They're just there to keep us in check and give us false hope. You know what I'm saying?
False hope. That's fact. So the Matrix is a system, and we should disconnect from that system in order to get back to ourselves, start making decisions for ourselves, and govern ourselves. We don't need the government to govern our decisions and our ideas and our movements. We can do that for ourselves. So I think that was definitely well said. So I noticed that you said the world that we live in is a illusion, right? So let me piggyback off that. How do you see the world, and do you believe we live in a hologram? Ooh, we about to get deep.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a hologram like how the Matrix was pitching it to us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do feel like, people, they do have like brainwashing tactics and psychological tactics that they use on us, but I feel like, going back into question one, once we step away from, this society and everything that they're giving us in this society, we'll realize that, life isn't so much about everything that they're making it seem. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, like, we got to throw away all of our values and shit, but I'm just saying, like, we could create new ones. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the illusion goes, I don't feel like what the illusion is I feel like the illusion is classism, basically. We have this whole illusion that, I mean, classism is real, but I would say that's kind of the illusion that we're stuck in as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't even realize that we're all slaves, like, including white people. You know what I'm saying? We're all slaves feeding this one system. And I just feel like when it comes to us, when it comes to black people, that's something that we need to realize. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the choice to step away from this system. You know what I'm saying? We have a choice to step away from their illusions. We have to start thinking about, like, our black people, our black brothers and sisters in Africa and stuff that don't have none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're suffering because white people have, like, set up systems and stuff like that within their government to screw those people over. But I'm just saying, as far as mentality goes, like, the black person that's in a village that's not necessarily in the city life, he's just thinking about sustaining life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's not thinking about, I'm this person, I gotta be above this person. And I just feel like the whole classism thing has us competing with each other, you know what I'm saying? Especially black folks. You know what I'm saying? Everything we do, even the ones that's in position of power and have money and stuff, everything is about shitting on the other man. You know what I'm saying? And proving that he's lower than you.
Wow. So, I just have to state this because it's always about race. Like, all the white people was able to storm the Capitol, but if the black people did it, then, so I kind of feel like it's always the race card. But as far as what you're saying classism is basically dividing the black people because we kind of go into competition within our own community because we're always trying to prove that we're better than the other person.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the classism, we're on the bottom of that classism. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We're on the very bottom of it. So this whole illusion that they give us is like we're trying to reach the very top of it, and we think that some of our people are in that top range, but they're even in the low tiers of it too. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah.
Like we thinking about Diddy, he and Jay-Z, they a billionaire, but their money is a fucking crumb compared to, everybody else. And that's how they looking at it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they put those people in front of us so that we value certain shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So what messages do you have for people who are still sleep or sheeps?
I would say we got to get together. We have to wake up because, like, that's the main problem today. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not on the same page. You have certain people that's privy to this knowledge, and then you're trying to educate these people that don't necessarily even want to learn this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I find with most of the sheep is, like, they'll argue with you and shit, but they don't even care about their own point that they're making.
Right.
So, because it's not their point, they arguing somebody else's point.
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's ridiculous. But my message to the sheep is like, basically, if y'all don't wake up, you know what I'm saying, there's no reason to fucking complain, because you know what I'm saying, you basically, all the things that you complained about, you kind of caused. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as the voting goes, you complain about, you know, racism, cops, this, that, and third, and then we elected the two people that's responsible for like mass incarceration. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense.
Right.
So it's going back to like what I said. You can't keep asking your oppressor to be your savior at the same time. It doesn't make sense.
Wow. That line, I mean, that statement right there, young Morpheus, you cannot keep asking your oppressor to save you. That is like so amazing to me.
I think we might have to hashtag that, because that's some serious information there.
Yeah, it really is. It definitely is. So I want to piggyback off of what you said, because a lot of people, you know, look up to these celebrities like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Cardi B, Rihanna. So, like, how do you think those influencers or celebrities influence society or the Matrix?
Basically, they're pawns within this whole matrix. You know what I'm saying? But the main reason why they're so strong is because they're pull and influence to behavior, basically. You know what I'm saying? They influence behavior within the sheep. And that's what their roles are. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily say like Cardi B or Beyonce are high-ranking members of some secret society or anything, but they play their roles within that society. You know what I'm saying? Their role is basically to keep you distracted and keep you focused on everything that does not matter. You know what I'm saying? Especially our community. We too focused on entertainment right now, especially right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see, our people, we focus on doing fucking challenges and shit, while, you know, white people out here preparing and doing whatever they can because they know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? We just this is the thing that be getting me so tight when it comes to dealing with our own people. It's like, we got to do everything, go as you come. You know what I'm saying? Whatever comes, we got to roll with the punches and shit. And it's like, when these folks deal with us, they be planning 20 years ahead. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense.
You said, wait, you said they plan 20 years ahead, our oppressor?
I would say more than 20 years, even 50. Even 100 years ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let's talk about that for a minute, because how does the Simpsons keep predicting what's about to happen?
Because they have a playbook. They they let everything be known, because they know that people are not going to question everything. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of, I would even say the Bible is their playbook as well. You know what I'm saying? That whole Revelations and everything that they talk about in the Bible, that's pretty much, like, I feel like they put what they're going to do out there. It's kind of like predictive programming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the Simpsons always got to put something before it happened? It's basically like predictive programming. And I don't understand why they have to do that and what's their commitment to letting you know before they do some shit.
Because it makes you believe everything that happens is...
Yeah. I would say that, James. It reaffirms whenever these things happen. You know what I'm saying? It reaffirms it as it being real. Right. And people don't understand that it's a psyop.
Right.
You're absolutely right about it.
Right. That's facts. Let me see. Because I know, you know, we have this term out there, conspiracy theory or a conspiracy theorist, right? So I just want to your opinion, like, what are some things that may be outrageous or considered outrageous to other people, but some things that you truly believe that could be considered a conspiracy theory?
All right, I'm gonna start out with this point. Basically, what I've come to understand, and what most people don't realize is that I truly feel like the American government was built on Satanism. You know what I'm saying?
It was
Like
it was built on what? The American government was built on what?
Satanism.
Oh, Satanism? That's deep.
Because I would say there's a lot of occultic themes within, you know, a lot of things that even the way DC is built, you know what I'm saying? They say Masons built DC, and even when you know Google Maps it, you see a pentagram and all this other crap. But what people don't know is how involved Satanism is in our government. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna touch on this real quick. There's this guy named Michael Aquino. You can look him up. You know what I'm saying? This dude was basically in charge of psychological warfare, and he's a top-ranking Satanist in the Church of Satan. Like,
Wow.
like, you know what I'm saying? So he even founded his own Church of Satan, the Church of Seth. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I've looked
like,
into him.
Wow.
these are questions that people don't tend to really question. You know what I'm saying? But once you notice the amount of Satanism that is in the government, you know what I'm saying? You'll realize some of these claims that people are making. You know what I'm saying? As far as Hillary Clinton, the Clintons, you know, and these people touching kids and sacrificing kids and these things like that. It'll get more real to you once you realize how much Satanism is involved in our government. And another thing I'm going to attach to that is UFOs and aliens. A lot of people think that they don't associate with Satanism, but my personal opinion, this is going back to your question, what do you believe that, you know, people might not necessarily believe? But I feel like the UFO thing and this whole alien phenomenon has a lot of attachment to Satanism. And I feel like people don't understand that, but, like, I've done my research on some of these people, like, what's his name? It's coming to me. One second. Aleister Crowley. You know, everybody in the music industry, including some of your favorite black celebrities like Jay-Z, look up to this guy. You know, even Michael Jackson at one point, you know what I'm saying, looked up to this guy. And Aleister Crowley was known as one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Satanist ever. You know what I'm saying? This is why every rock, death metal band and everybody, like Ozzy Osbourne, has songs about this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But going back to what I was saying about how much the government is involved in Satanism, guess who grandfather this is? This is George Bush's grandfather. Nobody fucking knows that.
What? Wait. Who's George Bush's grandfather?
Aleister Crowley.
What? Wow.
He's Barbara Bush's father, and people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So if you got the biggest Satanist in the world, or biggest known Satanist in the world, and then you have George Bush as your grandson, like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like, what the hell?
Wow.
There's even footage of George Bush bigging up Ozzy Osbourne and telling Ozzy that his mother loves him. You know what I'm saying? So, like, this is the type of shit that nobody's, like, really privy to. Like, how much this shit is involved in Satanism.
Wow. How do you think that UFOs and aliens are related to Satanism?
Oh, yeah. My bad for not touching on that. But my personal take on aliens is that they're not necessarily some beings from outer space. I feel like they're interdimensional beings, and they might be demons and shit. Because when people talk about phenomenon dealing with aliens, it's a lot of characteristics that are similar to demonic possession, and also similar to, you know how they say, like, demons are shapeshifters and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically they say, like, some of these alien beings have some of the same characteristics as far as being able to possess people, being able to, you know, shift in and out of our, like, field of vision. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of those characteristics are parallel to the demonic, and even some of the top researchers when it comes to alien phenomenon have come to these conclusions. They say that aliens are not necessarily some outer dimensional beings coming from outer space. You know what I'm saying? They saying that it could be something that's more multi-dimensional. They're
Yeah.
multi-dimensional beings.
Yeah.
They're tapping into our dimension.
They definitely are, but I do want to piggyback off this because I'm really heavily into, different beings, interdimensional beings, quote unquote aliens, right? So from my research and what I know, you have the good and you have the bad, just like people, just like humans. So there are some that are bad, but there are some that are good. So, behind the scenes, I'm going to get with you and discuss that information and send you some information and footage and stuff like that about different beings. But, for an example, reptilians, you have reptilians all throughout the government. So, reptilians is a whole different topic, and I don't even know if, our listeners.
I'm gonna touch on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I know about it. But going back to what I was just saying is, like, a lot of people don't think that whole reptilian theory is real.
Wow.
But there's a lot of historical attachment to it, and that's what kind of backs it up for me. You know what I'm saying? There's even, like, look at the hieroglyphs in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Why did certain beings on those hieroglyphs have animal heads and stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? They even have one with a crocodile head. I just feel like they were different. Like, we were seeing different types of humanoid species back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Earth was more than just us as human beings, as standing upright creatures and shit like that.
Right.
And I'm gonna touch on one more thing, Nessa. Basically, with the reptilian thing, right? I'm gonna just attach it to why I believe it has everything to do with Satanism, right? There was this movie called Fear of Loathing while in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp. Have you seen, James? Have you seen that?
I haven't.
What's the title?
Okay,
Say the title one more time.
Fear of Loathing while in Las Vegas. It's an old movie. It's basically a movie where Johnny Depp goes to Las Vegas and they do like a suitcase full of drugs, right? So, y'all know about adrenochrome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a scene within the movie. They doing drugs the whole movie, right? But then, Johnny Depp takes out a vial of adrenochrome, and he's asking his friend in the movie, "What is this?" So the friend is explaining what it was, and he basically said that he got it from a Satanist that lost the trial for basically trying to, like, sacrifice a kid or whatever, right? So Johnny Depp takes the adrenochrome. His friend immediately turns into Satan in the room, like immediately turns into Satan after he takes the adrenochrome.
Wow.
Then they go to a bar, and then everybody in the bar were reptilians. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've heard other people speak about this doing research, but they say the reason why they use that adrenochrome is to tap into that fourth dimension. And that goes back into what I was saying as far as these creatures not necessarily being alien beings. They're interdimensional beings. And this is why these occultists use things like adrenochrome, because it gives them that euphoric high to the point where they're able to trip out and tap into those other dimensions. So when they take the adrenochrome, they can see the reptilian. They can see, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow, that's
so this
deep.
is why I was saying it's attached to Satanism.
Yeah, and
Because
I definitely believe that. Definitely, especially with the reptilians. But you have the reptilians, you have the draconians. It's just so many different interdimensional beings. I don't really want to categorize all of them as being negative or bad, because you do have some positive ones that are fighting for humanity and trying to help save the world. And to name two, you have the Palladians and you have the Arturians. So I work with them kind of closely on a different aspect, but it's just like, I definitely believe you. And people don't realize that, reptilians are within our government. They have chairs, as they have very important seats as far as the government, like judges and senators and,
But they're also in law enforcement.
yes, and law enforcement. Yep.
They're also your judges. They have high seating positions.
Yes, absolutely. Wow. So I'm glad we did get a chance to touch base on that. Did you want to state anything else about that topic?
I would say to your listeners, if you're more interested in the topic, you could come to my page. I post a lot about it.
He posts a lot of stuff. If y'all
A lot of stuff.
Get a moment to check out his page. But I'm gonna ask you this question as well. What movies have a lot of hidden messages that you've seen or you would like other people to watch?
I'm gonna start with the first one is Eyes Wide Shut. That's a movie directed by Stanley Kubrick. They say that Stanley was killed because of this movie. Basically, the movie exposes, the shadow government or a cult. You know what I'm saying? It hints to that there being a basically Illuminati in the movie, and this is why they killed him. And also before killing him, they cut out 20 minutes of the movie. So there was definitely something in that movie that they didn't want the general public to see.
Wow.
I would say that's the first one because it hints to a lot of things. It hints to child trafficking. It hints to, Satanism. It hints to a lot of things. Second movie I'm going to name is, I would say, The Matrix.
Definitely The Matrix.
The Matrix is definitely, has a lot of ties. It's really, poetic in a way. You know what I'm saying? As far as explaining what the hell is going on.
Yes, you can't get more clear than that. You can't get... If you don't look at if you don't watch the movie The Matrix and put pieces together and actually see the messages and actually relate to your everyday life and your everyday living and the world that we live in to The Matrix, then I don't even know. I'm
gonna bring this up as far as The Matrix and just movies in general. I feel me and Nancy had a conversation a couple days ago that a lot of what Hollywood does with these movies is they put these messages or these gems in your movies because you're looking at them in a entertainment set of eyes,
right?
Rather than looking at it in the sense of what is the message behind this movie.
Right.
Most people watch a movie and be like, oh, cool, this is a nice movie. It's very entertaining for my eyes. But if you actually sit down and watch the movie, they're doing things or they're saying things or stuff is happening in this movie, and you're like, that don't make sense, or how the hell they do that?
Yeah.
James, I'm gonna add this one thing to what you were saying. Basically, the reason why they do that because CIA pretty much owns Hollywood, bro. They pretty much own Hollywood. So going back to what we were saying earlier is just predictive programming and just to attach to what you were saying, James, is just to break us down subconsciously to us thinking that that's just entertainment and not fathomable things that could actually happen in reality. But the truth of the matter is that reality is more closer to these movies than we think. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes down to some of this sci-fi stuff, like reality is a lot closer. Like they wouldn't be able to come up with these things if they, didn't have somewhat of an inclination that or idea of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Even when it comes
right.
down to aliens and vampires and all those things, I feel like it's just like even how they got like alien movies, vampire movies, werewolf movies, all types of movies, even Frankenstein. And I feel like even though they have those movies, it was some time period where those things were being talked about in like real life. You see how like they had werewolves in European history and they talked about vampires in European history. And I feel like these people have some real account of these things. It's just the fact that we see them in movies today. We feel like all of that shit is fake. You know what I'm saying?
Right, which is crazy. I want to talk about one movie in particular, which is Bird Box. Let's talk about Bird Box and the message behind that movie. So, what do you believe that movie was about?
That movie was confusing to me as far as like a message goes, but
I had to watch it twice to get the message. So
I really didn't enjoy that movie, so I don't think I wanted to see the message. But
well, we got some feedback.
I'm gonna ask y'all what y'all got out of it.
I'm gonna let James go first and piggyback off of what James is gonna say.
So I watched it the first time, and my spirit, some divine source, something said, "You missed my message. Go back and look at it again." So I went back and looked at it again, and if anyone has seen the movie, you have everyone just going out of their minds, seeing reality. That what's the saying about blindness?
So the movie was people seeing something. So you never the movie never displayed or showed what these people were seeing. It was some type of monster, some type of shadow being. I'm not sure.
Anyways, the in the movie, everybody was panicking and freaking out, like they had like your worst fears was your reality. But I feel like in today's society, people don't want to see what's going on in the world.
Right.
They want to put this blindfold on and be like pretend that everything is like peaches and cream,
right,
rather than facing reality. And then you have people in the movie who's going around opening the eyes of people.
Right.
The first time I watched the movie, I said, okay, those people are the bad guys.
Which people?
The ones that's going around opening the eyes. I looked at it the first time as, okay, he's a bad guy and everybody in the house is good. And the bad came in and tried to open the eyes to corrupt you. But I looked at it again because it said, you missed my message. And it didn't dawn on me that these people could be us. These people could be woke. These people could be enlightened. These people could have been on a spiritual path and are now trying to open the eyes of everybody else in the movie.
Exactly.
And they still don't want to see what's going on in reality.
Exactly. And
I could see that.
Yeah, just
I
to
never
piggyback.
really thought about it like that.
Right. Just to piggyback off that, people, so I've also heard that, because you know how we have our shadow side, right? We have the light, and then we have our shadow being, which is maybe ego or not, so good like the light. And we have to transmute that dark energy to make it through the light, right? So these people in the movie, they would see their fear. They would see their biggest fears, and it will come across the screen as like a shadow being, and that is what would kill them. When they open their eyes, they would see their fears, and their fears would kill them.
And a lot of people are not ready to face that fear of themselves.
Right, exactly. So I kind of took it as, okay, you have your shadow side trying to open your eyes to the truth. But some people, when they open their eyes to the truth, they don't like it. They don't like what they see. It's hard for them. And then they die. But could that be just a symbolic death? Could that just be you have to kill your shadow side, or you have to make it through that dark energy to be reborn again and see reality? and see the truth by opening up your eyes. So, for me, Bird Box has a really deep message behind it. And I just really feel like it just means that you might have other people, like beings like, me and James, or you, truth seekers, people who are exposing the truth, that is going to come in and open up your eyes and expose you to your fears, or expose you to your shadow side, or expose you to the deep state, right? And it's up to you to be reborn again and make it through that energy, even though in the movie it's just like, okay, you're going to die. But really, I think it's just like, okay, I'm killing off my old ways of thinking, my old self, and now I'm being reborn again as a new person and seeing a new reality.
If not, you'll be like in the movie The Blind Leading the Blind.
Right. Or you want to be, the blind leading the blind. Exactly. So I just think that was a good movie. Let me ask you this. Did you see the movie Soul on Disney?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I also think for my viewers who's listening, if you have the Disney app, go definitely check out this movie Soul. It's a lot of messages behind that movie. And for me, the main purpose is to find your purpose, live in that, because you don't want to just go through life without knowing what your purpose is, And
that goes back into our last show of knowing your purpose. Of you can't know your purpose without knowing yourself.
Right, that's true. Exactly. So even though you might be having a good time, having fun, doing things you like and enjoy, what is the purpose behind that? What is your real mission? But find your purpose, and once you step in that, I feel like your life is definitely going to change, and you're going to feel in your heart and your soul the meaning behind why you're here and what it is you have to do. So for me, that was a good movie. Do you have any other movies you want to elaborate on?
I'm gonna just say two. They're not really movies, but two definite documentaries that I feel like people should watch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, y'all should check out Outer Shadows. It's on YouTube. It might be a little confusing to find.
Wow, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good one. The second one is basically it's a movie about it's not a movie. It's a documentary about the whole reptilian topic that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good as well. The name of that one is shit. James, do you remember the name of that one? That reptilian documentary I put you onto?
You put me onto a lot of documentary. But I know Zeitgeist was one of them. I know. Dude, you sent me a lot of documentaries that I've looked at.
Shit, what is the name of that?
And it's about reptilians?
It's going to come to me, but I'm going to just mention this one in the meantime that I do have in my head.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that I've most recently seen that everybody should watch as well, too. It gives like an elaborate breakdown of what exactly this whole coronavirus is as far as it being a scam. And that one is Planet Lockdown.
Planet Lockdown, wow.
Yeah, check that one out.
Wow.
It's a doctor. I forgot her exact name, but she does an elaborate breakdown of, what exactly this whole coronavirus is as far as it being, explaining that it's not really necessarily a virus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a phase that we're going through, and a transitional phase into a new
world.
We're
basically
going from democracy into a technocracy. Basically, big tech is going to take over pretty much, and we see that firsthand with what has been going on.
Right.
Or whatever.
I actually want to, while you're thinking about that other movie, I want to piggyback off something that you said about big tech, because it kind of like, people just like, hip, hip, hooray. They are silencing Donald Trump. Yeah. Like, get him off of Instagram. Get him off of all these platforms. Woohoo. But what you're not realizing is you're next. You're next. So why are you so excited and happy about this when you're next? And some people have already been banned from Facebook, or you've been in Facebook jail. Like, how does it feel? Why are you so excited about this? Like, it really, it's beyond me. It really is. I just had to make that statement because, like, why are you excited when it's happening to
I'm
you?
gonna add to that statement as well. Because I feel like this is what we confused at, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the truthers. The reason why we see things for what they are is because that's what we are consuming as far as what we are trying to seek out as far as knowing or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to these sheep and people that are just completely fucking lost, they're consuming themselves in nothing but entertainment and shit that is meant to keep them fucking brainwashed. Like all they do is just listen to Cardi B and watch Love and Hip Hop and just watch a bunch of ignorant ass shit. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And then they don't know what the hell is going on in the world. And when you try to explain it to them, they don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not. It doesn't go along with their reality. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when you do, bring that to the table, it's destroying what they see as reality. So that's why they get so defensive. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh no, that can't exist, this, that, and third, because it 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 breaks down what they see as reality, and that's what mainly is like the confusion that we got to get through and get everybody on the same page. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A
Yeah.
lot of people that's complaining like, oh, this ain't fair, it's the government, this, that, and third. They pointing the finger, and they're pointing the finger at Trump. That's because the media told them to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they not trying to figure out who are the real culprits at hand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And going back to the whole movie thing, I just figured it out. I just want to throw that out there real quick. The Reptilian movie is called Above Majestic, guys, if you want to check that out.
I'm definitely gonna check it out today when I get home. Okay. Because I'm gonna take your word for it. If it's that interesting, I never heard of it, but I'm definitely gonna have something to say about it on our next show, and I'm gonna listen to it. Well, I'm gonna watch it tonight with James.
A movie I want you to watch too that has a message that me and Nessa debunked was
Megamind.
Megamind,
Mm-hmm.
the cartoon.
The
Oh, yeah?
cartoon movie.
I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like cartoons, I'm going to touch on that real quick, James. Now that you mentioned cartoons, I feel like they put the most subliminal shit in cartoons. Because
The reason why they do that too is for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the infantry. That's like the infantry shit. Basically the infantry. I'm saying my bad. That's like the infant state of mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they're molding your kid from like a very young age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why they do that shit the most. You know what I'm saying? They want to mold your kid's perspective from like the earliest age. That's why
Right.
you even see it in like the smallest kids TV show.
Right.
um,
And Out of Shadows documentary actually talks about that, and with Disney movies, because I believe they stated in that documentary that from the age of 2 to 7 or 2 to 8 is when kids mostly absorbs, a lot of information, and that is what creates their personality between the ages of 2 and 8, 2 and 7. So yeah, so it is, I guess, important for the elites or whoever you want to say to actually brainwash your children between those ages, and that will go in correlation with Disney movies and why they are catered to our children.
I mean, my personal opinion on it, and that's it, is like from the moment you come out the womb all the way through high school is it's an indoctrination phase. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's really like even the schools is just is indoctrination all the way through. That's why most of these kids is learn a bunch of nonsense and don't retain any of that information out of their high school. Once you get out of high school and
Right.
to their adult life, they don't retain any of the information because there's a bunch of uselessness, and then it's mixed in with just indoctrinated bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
That's facts.
It's all about molding us into what they want.
Well, talking
And
about,
basically what they...
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, my bad. Basically, what they mold us into is a slave, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I'm so glad you just said that last statement, because now I want to get into the vaccine. Talking about molding us, what is your thoughts on the COVID-19 vaccine? Because I have some friends that has taken it. Then I have some friends that's like, I would never, ever, ever in a million years. So,
Um,
what are your thoughts on that?
Basically, that's it. You see it. You know what I'm saying? They making it into they they hyping it up like they
Mm-hmm.
dropping a sneaker or something. You know what I'm saying? So
Like they dropping a new Jordan.
yeah, that's basically how it is. You know what I'm saying? The society we live in is like this whole instant gratification society where you have to have the latest shit that's
Right.
the most popular at the time. You know
Air
what I'm
Max,
saying?
COVID.
So basically, if you look at even how they pitch the vaccine in commercials, it's like they making it seem like it's a brand new sneaker or some shit. Oh, go get that. Go get that new vaccine and dropped. You know what I'm saying? Um, but to all this shit, I just want to let y'all know. You know what I'm saying? It takes 16 years to develop a vaccine. You know what I'm saying? And with this particular vaccine, um, after those 16 years, they go into phase 3 where they test the shit on animals. They didn't do no animal testing. We're the ones being tested with this fucking vaccine. And that's what people don't realize. I just looked at an article that said 23 people in Norway died after taking a Pfizer vaccine. You know what I'm saying? And both Pfizer and Moderna, the companies that have been approved and shit, Pfizer got, settled out of the biggest, one of the biggest cases to deal with, rewarding a victim. They known for that. You know what I'm saying? And Moderna, they ain't even been in the medicine game at all. Like, this is literally like the first medicine they making.
Wow.
And shit. So, like, you're going to go with a company that never developed any medicines before? But this is the thing. Like, the general public is not asking themselves. They're like, basically what these people did is they want you so far away from thinking for yourself. And
Right.
that's what it is. Like, they want you so far away from thinking for yourself. That's why they got to keep you so wrapped up in shit that does not matter.
Right. That's facts.
Last time I checked, Pfizer was a penis company.
Yeah.
So you're trusting your vaccination from a penis company?
Whew.
You trust
I
yours?
don't know, man. It's all types of shit, and that's kind of one thing that I'm gonna say this. That's the one thing that kind of concerned me about Trump. You know what I'm saying? Is his involvement in the vaccines. But for the most part, he was the better candidate. You know what I'm saying? Than Joe Biden. Like, absolutely don't want fucking Biden in there. You know what I'm saying? As far as, like, for everything, the guy's he's clearly a puppet. You know what I'm saying? Trump, on the other hand, you know what I'm saying? He was new into politics. He was doing things that, we've never seen politicians do before. You know what I'm saying? And Trump was what he made it seem like is he's for the people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I didn't understand is, like, how could you basically choose a guy that's not, even patriotic about fucking America? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
that's my one concern about Trump, though, like, his whole involvement in the vaccines and shit. But we're going to see what happens after this inauguration. And, hopefully things play out, in the favor of the people. But it's not looking good.
Yeah, I expect a major turnaround, so we'll see, for sure. But I do want to know, like, what's next for you? Where do you see your brand or your business headed? What's next for young Morpheus?
For me, on a personal level, getting out of New York is priority right now,
Okay.
obviously.
I'm telling you.
But another thing for me along the road is I'm gonna start a store soon. So, if
Oh,
you guys,
congrats. That's nice.
to all your listeners, if you guys that's something I do as well. Besides, being on a whole conscious tip, I'm a designer.
A dope designer,
Even though,
too.
yeah, COVID kind of took a toll on my whole designer thing, but I want to get back into it. And it's basically just because I live out here in New York. And the whole thing out here in New York is that they were stopping people from basically conducting business, you know what I'm saying? Or just conducting business normally. But I'm going to start a thrift store, guys. For anybody that's interested in that, you could reach out to me, and I'll give you the link to my my fashion page.
Perfect. That's what's up. I do want to know, too, where do you see the world headed right now? Just as far as everything. Not really, I mean, you can elaborate on the election, but just as far as us and human beings and consciousness and...
As a collective.
Yeah, as a collective.
As a collective, I feel like if our... All right, for the world, I'm going to have a two-part answer. For the world has just been displaying that everybody across the globe has been uncomfortable with their governments. You know what I'm saying? They've been uncomfortable, but we've seen more and more how these governments have gotten more like tyrannical and more of a force of control, right? Here in America, we don't even realize that, like, do you see other people in these other countries like China, Korea, Canada, France, just to name a few, but I've seen a number of protests in these other countries, and they're all for Trump. You know what I'm saying? So if people recognize that America is the last cornerstone of freedom standing in the world, right?
Sheesh.
And Americans don't even realize that we are on our final leg of what America actually is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
These people are about to flip America on its ass, and we on our final leg. And Americans still have not even realized the position that we are in as a country. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We think this shit is a fucking game. We think, oh yeah, Corona, this, that, third, and it's all politics, this, that, third. But another thing too, Nessa, I'm gonna add is if you want to know anything about where this world is headed, it's easy. They tell you the fucking where this shit is going. Like now they talking about this great reset shit. If anybody want to know the direction that the world going in, pay attention to the World Economic Forum. These people lay out what they want to do. Like, everybody that's listening, go listen to the World Economic Forum and listen to what they saying about the Great Reset, and listen to what they are saying about Agenda 2030. So this whole, Corona shit is a 10-year plan, basically, to revolutionize the world and their image, basically, and a transfer of power. You know what I'm saying? It's basically the New World Order. You know what I'm saying? If anybody doesn't know what that is, they've been talking about this shit for years.
Yep. Facts.
To all my, religious people out there, for us, this is not the New World Order. It's basically revelations that we living in. If anybody understands that. But Yeah, this is where we're headed in. You know what I'm saying? We're headed towards a new world order, and it's like if the people don't recognize the time we headed in, we just gonna be there and then realize when it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's all I had to say about that.
Right, and that's what Michael Jackson tried to warn us about. They don't really care about us, and then they killed him off. Rest in peace to him, definitely. And I do want to thank you so much for being our special guest, young Morpheus. It's about time we wrap it up, but I do want you to let the people know how they can contact you or reach you.
All right, you guys could reach me at young, YOUNG _Morpheus at IG, on IG. My second page is Hidden Gems Market. If you're interested in like my fashion stuff, you know, most of the conversation was not about fashion, but that's also something that I do on the side, guys. But yeah, reach out to me at Young Morpheus, and if you know you guys can't find me, just reach out to Nessa or James, and they'll send you my page.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to post all your information on our Facebook channels and also on Instagram, as well as this video. Thank you so much for participating in this interview. You have been such a blessing to Tarot Talk. And everyone, we're going to go ahead and take a music break. Thank you so much for tuning in. We want to definitely see you back next Saturday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. where we have King Dreddy as a special guest. So don't miss that show. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. You are listening to Tarot Talk on 105.1 Live.